Welcome into another episode of the Butt and Breneman Show. I am pleased to be joined by the hardest working man in show business, Adam Breneman. Adam, where are you reporting live from?
Jake, I am in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. I got an action game tonight, Buffalo, Central Michigan. Jake, you stopped calling this show the Breneman and Butt Show when Penn State started losing. Did you ever notice that?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
My name doesn't go first anymore.
This is a meritocracy. You get what you earn.
Michigan wins a couple games and you're back with your name in the beginning of the show.
Well, it's both working together, and that's why, you're a point guard. That's a great assist, because why don't we just start there? It was supposed to be Penn State's first win, Terry Smith's first win. I was calling a game in the exact same time slot, and our stage manager, Bob Lanigan, kept showing me the score. I'm like, what? No way.
Yeah.
No way. And then Mendoza gets the ball back under 2 minutes, no timeouts, takes a sack on the first play of that drive, and yet put together, pick any one of the 4 throws he made. There was 2 or 3 great catches. Obviously, the touchdown to Omar Cooper Jr. is one of the best throw, catch, foot down, best officiated plays I've seen. The slow-mo of the officials' technique was outstanding. What stood out to you about that game?
It was Fernando Mendoza's Heisman moment. The comeback down the field, it was really signified Turk Sinetti's identity in that program, the never give up attitude, the toughness, the poise to have that moment where you take the sack. Everyone in the stadium thought the game was over. Penn State fans were about to rush the field, and to put that drive together at the end with the poise that Fernando Mendoza played with, it was really surgical. And Penn State's regression on defense finally broke him at the end of that game. Not finally, it's broken in the last few weeks, but broke him in that specific game on that final drive. Despite the sack to start the drive, Penn State struggled throughout the day to get pressure. Didn't do a great job. The run game wore him down at times. So it was really the mental side of Penn State football is broken right now. And that's what happens when you lose a few games in a row. You lose your head coach and you can't finish a game like that. So it was a huge win, though, for Fernando Mendoza. I know against a bad Penn State team this year, but you realize how much talent that Penn State team has, and how good they could have been. So I still think it's a big win for Indiana despite Penn State's season, Jake.
I'm going to go on a complete rant here. If SEC teams get credit for beating Florida because Florida has talent, then why would Big Ten teams not get credit for going on the road and beating Penn State? Because if you just looked at it and said, how many teams in the Big Ten would trade their roster for Penn State's roster of just the players? It's probably the majority of the Big Ten. I'd say like maybe 15 teams would just trade one-for-one roster because there's so much talent. And to your point, that luck and belief, that is now 3 games this year on the road where Mendoza has had to stage a late game drive to take the lead. On the road at Kinnick, on the road in Autzen, now on the road in Happy Valley. This time he's doing it without his wide receiver 1, Elijah Surratt. Guy like Charlie Becker showing up on that drive and throughout the entire game. And that belief is just like a seed that gets planted. In every game you execute, it's water, water, water. And it's like that's going to matter down the stretch of the season where, if you make a push for the Big Ten champ and playoff, you're going to be in close games. And yet the entire roster can look at their quarterback and say, we have the guy that's going to find a way to get it done.
What do you think of the touchdown catch to end the game? Was he in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is what's crazy. I was thinking about, remember the Penn State-Oregon game when I think it was Jordan Davison, his knee was, they ruled his knee down on the fumble. It's like if Penn State didn't cut the grass, I think his cleat touches the grass, but he didn't. And then if you notice, the DB's foot was right on like the shin of Omar Cooper Jr.'s right leg, which probably helped it. It literally was a game of not even inches, like centimeters. It was that close.
Yeah. And
Unbelievable.
Gus Johnson's getting a lot of flack for his call on social media. And I just got to say, I loved it. I thought it was a great call. It shows the raw emotion and the passion that Gus Johnson has for this game. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it was like, that's how I would react if Penn State would have won the game that way. Right. And I think you can see through his call
And he has
how
no
much
ties for either team. He's just like
no
enjoying the
ties, just
moment.
loves the game. It was incredible play. I thought it was really cool, and I know he's
He's
part of our Fox family here, but
yeah,
it was a good call.
but he's catching flack, but he's also getting praise. I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
read too much into it. I'm like, this is just the world. It's like half the world loves it. Great call. We love Gus Johnson. Half the world's like, we hate it. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. Welcome to planet
What
Earth in
what
2025.
what else stuck out to you last week,
Well, no, I
Jake?
wanted to say one more
What
thing
you
about
see
what
around
you
the Big
said.
Ten?
About,
Yeah,
I wanted to and get your opinion on this because, you talk about like the mental brokenness of Penn State.
yeah,
There was two plays on that drive. When it was a goal to go situation, Jim Knowles is sending zero. The very first play is batted down. Then the second play, there's also pressure in Mendoza. The ball gets thrown like ricochets up into the air. And I couldn't see the number, but your Penn State linebacker, had he not slipped, that was an interception. You know which
interception.
play I'm
Yeah,
talking about? But
yeah,
his
yep.
foot slips and he doesn't get there. And I think there's something we call it like the football gods. It's like the football gods reward hard work, internal belief, and the football gods rewarded Indiana in that moment and punished Penn State. Like, don't you think the best teams create their own luck? Like they just happen to get the bounce the
No
right
doubt.
way. It's a real thing, right?
Yeah, luck's when preparation meets opportunity. I really think Penn State this season has not gotten beaten because they're outmatched ever. It's not a
Never.
talent issue. They're beaten
Maybe
because
Ohio State.
maybe Ohio State, but not by much from just a
Yeah.
pure talent standpoint. Penn State has been beaten because that team internally expects the collapse before it even happens.
Mm,
They expect to not win those games. And when Indiana's driving that last drive of the game, you've been on team. I mean, I've been on teams like that where you look around and you lose a little bit of your belief, and you're like, oh no, is this about to happen?
yeah.
Right? Are we about to lose this game? Where on Indiana's sideline, Fernando Mendoza has the ball back, even though he's backed up, even though he takes a sack. No one on that sideline doubted they were going to go score and win that game. So that's the difference between the two programs. And it's not a talent thing. It is a belief, a culture, and identity. I think that's why Kirk Cinetti is one of the best coaches in the business right now.
I agree. And that wasn't the only important or close game that weekend. We talked about it last week. We knew Oregon, Iowa was going to be a banger. Oregon, you factor in all the injuries. Dante Moore, no wide receiver one. DeCorian Moore is out. No Kenyon Sadiq. I think they had their tackle, Alex Harkey, was out. I think Gary Bryant Jr. left the game. I mean, that is a beaten and battered Oregon Duck football team. Torrential downpour, back and forth. Iowa takes the lead on a fourth down scramble. And in pouring rain, Dante Moore just goes dot, 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 dot. And then that final throw to set up the field goal was one of the more beautiful and factor in the conditions and the situation, one of the best throws of the year. The Ducks get it done, and playoff hopes are certainly alive here. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, Jake, I thought it was interesting. You made a great point on our show here last week. We were talking Oregon, Iowa, and you talked about how Oregon's identity, everyone thinks of Oregon as that like flashy offense, throws the ball over the field, plays super fast, right? Like still has that stigma around it and what Will Stein does, but they're a physical football team.
Mm-hmm.
And Oregon plays a lot like how Iowa plays on offense with running the ball. And I thought that was the best thing watching this game. Oregon won this game by playing Iowa's brand of football. I mean, Oregon ran the ball for 260 yards in this game, averaged 7 yards a carry on the ground. That was the identity they needed. That offensive line is playing really well for Oregon right now, and they're getting movement on the line of scrimmage. The defense and Tosh Lupoi got stops when they needed it. Dante Moore in the final drive, like the poise he showed as a young quarterback in Kinnick, a tough place to play, tough environment. The weather's not good. I thought his poise was really impressive. But my favorite piece is just how physical Oregon played in this game, and that in a game where everyone would think that Iowa is the physical team, and everyone talked, can West Coast football play in the Big Ten? Can they make that transition? Man, Oregon could be the most physical team in this conference right now. They could have the best offensive line, and they played like it in this game.
Man, their offensive line is really their strength, and Oregon still has to play Minnesota, USC, Washington, and then to make a deep playoff run. I don't know, Dan Lanning isn't telling us firmly what the injury situations are. I think their identity is going to have to change because they're deep in the running back room, and I love that offensive line. They are physical, and I think they can ride those guys. They'll need to ride those guys. Favorite play for me, Brandon Finney Jr., I've been so high on this kid. He's a
Oh,
true freshman.
freshman.
Iowa was driving, and he put his helmet right on the football and forced a fumble down in the red zone. You know, if Iowa gets any points there, it's a different outcome. And then Sappington, I mean, talk about a kicker in the snap hold operation to put it through the uprights and win the game. Great stuff. And it kind of leads me to the next question here. Heisman talk. We mentioned it with Mendoza. I called Ohio State Purdue, so I got to see Julian Sayin, and I hate how he's being penalized because of how good he is. Like, it's not. I understand the drive for Mendoza, but we also have to say he has to take responsibility for the situation as it was. Julian Sayin is just like an AI computer out there, man. He just hits the perfect read on time with perfect accuracy and fundamentals, and they just cruise to victory.
So
To me, Sayin's the leader.
What do you mean by that? When you say he's penalized for how good he is, are you saying that because he's not in these game-winning situations, because he's so efficient in the first, second, third quarter, he doesn't have that Heisman moment? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I see on social media. It's like this is, and we say that is a Heisman moment for Mendoza. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to take away from Mendoza. That was a Heisman moment, but I want to double down and say Sayin's been outstanding, and we can't penalize him for the fact that he's just been leading his team to dominant victories.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. I mean, Mendoza to me is the favorite right now. Like, if I had a Heisman vote, he would get my vote. Just, I mean, the win against Oregon, what he's done, how he's thrown the football over the field, the decision making he showed. I think he's got it right now in my mind. And I think there is a little bit of a natural bias towards everyone expects Ohio State to have a capable quarterback who can make plays and distribute to his playmakers. And like, it's not a surprise to people. But you got to think, I mean, this is Julian Sayin's first year of football, first year of college football, and what he's done in such a quick period of time. It's really been fun to watch him play. So
I know
how about Emmett Johnson though? Running back of Nebraska, what he's been able to do, man. I mean, 11 touchdowns this year, and has really put this Nebraska team on his back, got him 7-3, and playing really good football. I think he deserves some talk as well. I'm not sure he'll win it, but I think he should be in the conversation. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, over 1,100 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. He also has 300 receiving and another 3 receiving touchdowns. And you factor in the offensive line issues. You're starting a freshman quarterback because Raiola got hurt. And all that he does is just be steady every single week. Like, he is a spark plug for that team. And, Matt Rule, when we were calling the Nebraska-Maryland game, he's like, man, this guy reminds me of Christian McCaffrey. And I'm like, oh, slow down, coach. But then I got to see him up close in person. I'm like, I see what he's saying just in terms of the ability to change direction, but he can also run through you, his value as a pass catcher. I mean, he does everything. Unfortunately, like, it's a quarterback award. Heisman has become a quarterback award. You need to have an absolute historic season. He's having a really, 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 really good season. I just don't know if it's historic, and he would need help from other guys to win it. And just, I don't know. It would take a lot of things to happen to have Emmett Johnson.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that Matt Rule has launched the full-on campaign, though. I mean, I saw they got the website up and running. They got the Heisman logo with the J in it for them. I mean, they're rolling at Nebraska now. They're not slowing down. As Matt Rule, foot on the gas for Emmett Johnson to end up in New York.
It's a good coach, as you should. Advocate for your players. Yeah. All right, we'll bring this one home here. Last segment. It's the Fansville Hype Man moment. I think we're both taking the USC Trojans now, hosting Iowa, a clashing of two identities. At this point for USC, not an easy road. USC hosts Iowa, on the road Oregon, and then the rivalry game against UCLA. They went out, in my opinion. They're outside of the top 12 right now. If they went out with that schedule, they will make it into the top 12 and be a playoff team. But a big time clashing of two identities here, Adam. Is there any key or any singular thing that stands out to you?
I mean, Fansville Hype Man, USC Trojans, man. I mean, you went out and you're in. What else could you ask for? This is the position you want to be in. And this is Lincoln Riley's chance now to finally put USC in the playoffs. I mean, you control your own destiny. I mean, first, you got to keep Jaden Maiava clean against Iowa. USC's offensive line has been good at times this year. They've struggled at other times, giving up pressure on drop-back throws. Got to give Jaden Maiava time to hit his big receivers, Lemon and Lane down the field and overwhelm the Iowa secondary. I think also USC's got to stay balanced in this game, Jake. Got to be able to run the ball. got to be able to, 200 plus yards on the ground. They've been able to run the ball at times this year. That balance is going to keep Iowa's defense and linebackers guessing. And then on defense for USC, I think you got to tackle in space. You got to be able to get Mark Gronowski on the ground when he does the quarterback keepers and they run some of those. Iowa thrives on those hidden yards a lot of times, the short fields, the explosive quarterback runs, not always just base offense. You got to be able to contain this Iowa offense and tackle in space when the plays are there. So it's going to be fun. Field position will be the X factor as it is in most Iowa games. And can Jay Mayava have enough time to make plays downfield?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with USC because when you think of Lincoln Riley, like the winning formula is usually let's win in a shootout and let's win on the back or really like the throwing shoulder of our quarterback. And yet they've shown at times their ability to win by running the ball and playing great defense. They did it on the road against Nebraska, They did a little bit of it against Northwestern. Like they've become more of a complete team, in my opinion. The run game has been the story of their season, and now hosting Iowa. Iowa's a different team. You don't want to go in there ever saying, hey, we can't make the big mistake. You never want to think like that, but you do have to be conscious of Iowa wants you to make a mistake. They won't make any themselves, and they're going to be a net positive on special teams. They want to make the game messy and slow it down and make it close. And then in the fourth quarter, they believe they'll be more disciplined to win. Those have been the instances where USC has lost, like these close games, late games. That's when USC usually crumbles. And I think for Lincoln Riley, Adam, it's almost like a March Madness type mindset of, can you stay focused at week after week after week, understanding you have no margin for error? Man, I got a tough game against Iowa. I got to be all in and beat them. And then if they do, refocus because we got to go on the road to Oregon. And then if you do, refocus. We have a rivalry game to close out the season. That is a tough mental stretch. I think leadership is a big piece of this for the Trojans to finish strong.
I don't want to be a guy that looks ahead, but if USC wins this game against Iowa, I cannot wait for that trip to Oregon for them. That's going to be a fun game to break down, to watch USC Oregon with everything on the line. That'll be a big game for Oregon too. I mean, that's going to be huge for them. So let's see if USC can get it done and play themselves into a really big game next week.
Yeah, I love it, man. And I want to give a shout out to the committee keeping the Hawkeyes ranked. I just think they're showing a ton of respect to a really darn good football team that's lost some close games to other darn good football teams. So the committee's done a great job. You guys
Jake, I have almost no complaints from the committee. I mean, through the first 2 weeks, I mean, I'm shocked. I'm really trying to find things to talk about. It's like pretty simple and straightforward, I think.
The only thing we could talk about is just do away with the AP at this point. Like there's clearly like Soviet level propaganda from the AP, and I'm sick and tired of it. Let's just move the committee and hire them year round. We got enough money in college football. Let's hire them year round.
What's your game this weekend, Jake? Where are you at?
Wisconsin, Iowa. So, reminds me, how about the Badgers? Big win.
Yeah.
Big win.
Huge win.
Lasting image. It was been a tough season, tough stretch. Every year that Fickell's been there, bringing a transfer portal quarterback, every year they've gotten hurt. Tough schedule, gritty, downpour, hosting Washington, and they got to win, man. That was special for the Badgers. So,
You just said Wisconsin, Iowa. I think you meant Wisconsin, Indiana, right?
Did I say? Oh, yeah. Wisconsin, Indiana. Yeah. In Bloomington.
Let's dial in for the game you're calling this week, right?
That's right. That's right. My bad, Signetti.
We were just talking about Iowa, but yeah, huge win for. I was thinking, I'm like, wait, that can't be right. Wisconsin, Iowa. But yeah, what a scene it was watching that game as the clock ran out and in Camp Randall, and it was cool to see Luke Fickell, despite all the ups and downs, to get that win against a good Washington.
Yeah, you just want to celebrate. Now your boys, Terry Smith, I can't wait to see the scene when Terry Smith gets his first win. That's going to be cool. At some point. Come on. We got to get it at some point, right?
Yeah, it'll happen.
All right, man. Well, I know you got some prep to do. Thanks for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week.